Hello and welcome to the Just Another Castle podcast. I'm your host Matt, and with me this week is our resident gaming journalist Eli,
Hello, how y'all doing?
our pro gamer and anti-hipster Mike.
I'm dabbing, but you guys can't see it. But
Oh, God.
I'm doing it.
You teenager, you. And our retro aficionado Unoclay.
Hola, hola.
Stealing Flia. Holding it hostage.
Hola, everybody. I am Batman. I am here.
Oh, yo, Flia's here. What's up?
Deep reference for old followers of the podcast. What up, everybody?
Nice. So we'll start off with what we've been playing this week. Most of the stuff I have to talk about isn't what I've been playing, but there is some stuff I want to talk about. So I think this month is going to finally be the month I'll beat Zelda. I'm at the point where I'm just about to do another dungeon, and I don't think I'm really going to do a whole lot more side quests. I don't know, I'm just not interested in doing some of them. I don't really want to push myself to do all these other things if I'm not like actively interested in getting them. I've gotten almost 70 shrines, and that's, I think, plenty enough. I guess I'll see if I need more hearts later. But
Well, on the bright side, you're farther than Unoclay is probably about to finish up his second shrine.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
No, I checked my numbers after our last week's podcast. I got 35, so I know Mike, because I never see Mike playing it, right? Like, Mike.
Bro,
I don't play that game. It's you know what? Look, it's a great game, but it's not a good game. All right.
Oh, my God! Well, you're
Like,
going
I've come
to check that.
I've come to realize it's not.
Listeners,
it's not
let me reiterate. He just said that it's a great game, but not a good game.
It's a weird
Like,
review.
look, the way they when I do explain that like this, like, look, it's a great like game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a game, like a video game, a generic category. Like, you go to GameStop and there's something on the wall, and they're like, but like playing it, like, it's not good. It's not. Like, I don't like. I think the world is great. Like, I could feel what they put into it, but like the game itself sucks. Like, it's just not a good game. You know? Like, I don't like it. I don't think I can ever pick it up again unless I have nothing else to play. Okay, I'm playing Persona 5. I want to keep playing more 5 minutes into the game. I play Legend of Zordo. I don't want to keep playing.
Matt,
Mike
listen-
probably went through the reviews, and every 8, 9, and 10 he saw on the scores was like, all right, this is okay, and then saw the 7s and was like, not okay, not good.
Matt, do you want to explain for our listeners like what role Mike fulfills here? Because if you're like first time in this podcast and you tune in and you hear somebody just dump on Zelda, the new Zelda, they're going to be like, I'm done with this podcast.
he offers balance to this podcast.
Yo,
He goes
it's not my
where
fault.
we
It's
won't
just
go.
not a good. Yo, I don't get how people still play this. I can't play it. Like, this game's probably gonna get spoiled for me. I just can't go
Mike,
on.
I
Like,
think
Mike
not
provides 80% of the podcast hate and 100% of the podcast yos.
Yo, that's totally
Yeah.
true. I used to be a yo guy. He's got me beat. No.
I think his problem is that it's...
Look, I'm gonna even my Billy, my friend, the most casual gamer on the planet, is further than me in Breath of the Wild. Okay, I said this originally when the game was coming out.
Yo,
right? I said that I wasn't gonna be like, it's stupid. I don't like open world, free, all this bulk wannabe GTA crap, and it's gonna be hard to stay focused in on the story and all that. And guess what? It is. It's hard. Like, it's just. Look, I like it. I enjoyed it, but I don't like it. I especially don't like it as a Zelda game, and I just don't see the appeal of to constantly keep playing this game like every day.
You basically,
I just don't see it.
basically you
There's no,
want
like,
focus, is what you want.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if it's supposed to be an
Which
amazing
I
game,
get.
you aren't supposed to lose focus. Okay. Like, I'm playing, like I said, I'm playing Persona 5. I want to keep playing. I end my play, like, I'm like, I'm not going to play anymore today. And I'm like, shit, I want to play more. Like, even Overwatch, it doesn't even have a story. I want to play more. All right? Like, games like Mario Luigi Superstar Saga. That's the game I would not put down. I think I beat that game like 3 times on 3 different
Nice.
files and 3 different cartridges. It's a great game, you know? Breath of the Wild? No. Ocarina of Time? Yes. Skyward Sword? I that's in my ass.
Don't
Okay?
even go there.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so...
Matt, what else have you been playing, Matt?
Yeah, so... I was...
Hashtag Skyward Sword deserved 10s.
What?
Don't even start that. Anyway, my point was I think I'm at the point where I'm done with like side content and I'm just gonna do like the dungeons now. There's like one other side thing you technically don't have to get, but I will because it's whatever. It's a major part of the Zelda series anyway. Yeah, so I don't see myself doing any more of the extra stuff. So I think I'm gonna beat that sometime this month, probably before the end of it. But anyway, so another thing is this kind of goes into a news topic a bit, but I finally called to see how much it would cost to get my 3D XL repaired because the top screen is busted to crap. Apparently, only it costs $100, which is good because I was hoping it was only cost around there, not more, because I don't really want to buy another 3DS just for like 1 or 2 games because I learned that with the Wii. My Wii was busted and I modded it for Smash Bros mods, so Nintendo wasn't going to fix it for me. So I spent like $250 on a Wii for Skyward Sword, Super Mario Galaxy 2, and Pikmin 3.
Oh my
not knowing. No, hold on. This was before.
All good, great games.
Hold on. This was before they were coming out. I was anticipating these games, so I'm like, okay, well, these 3 games are still coming out. I'll buy a Wii and I'll at least play these things. Skyward Sword was not that great, even though I did like it. Super Mario Galaxy 2 was way too linear, and I was not that fond of it. And Pikmin 3 moved to the Wii U, so I'm like, well, that wasn't worth it. So I'm definitely not buying another 3DS just for I don't even know.
What about the new 2DS, dude? That shit looks sleek, my man. All right.
No, so wait, Matt, that you called to get your system repaired, and what happened?
So they can repair it, it's fine, it'll cost $100, but the part that goes into the news a bit is original 3DSs, the black one and blue ones, the smaller ones, aren't going to be repaired anymore, which is fine because they're like 6 years old, and I don't remember the last time you could buy an original 3DS. I'm pretty sure they've been like dead for like several years at this point.
So the only way to get one was a refurbished one on their site.
Yeah.
But they're selling them in like retail stores anymore, like brick and mortars and all that.
Yeah,
So.
I'm pretty sure once the new ones came out, like they were gone.
Nintendo confirmed no more repairs. Is that what you're saying?
For the original ones. XLs and everything else are fine.
We might have a scoop here. You should probably submit that to a couple of the news sites that we look at because I haven't heard that.
Go Nintendo kind of posted it and whatnot.
Oh, okay, you did see it somewhere. Okay, because I thought maybe you picked it up when you called or something like that. And that's the kind of thing sometimes is brand new.
I did hear that when I did call, because when I called the hotline or whatever, they're like, we no longer repair these. And then like a day or two later, like it was posted it online. So
man, for a chance.
But and then the last thing, I'll try to be quick, is so I was at my nephew's party on the weekend or whatever, and I came home and the weather was kind of nice, and I'm like, man, it'd be nice if I could play video games outside. Such a gamer thing to think about. Not go outside to enjoy outside, just go outside to play video games so I can have fresh air and be lazy. But yeah, I'm inching ever closer to buying a Switch. It seems.
You were thinking of that girl. You were thinking of that girl in the commercials, like for this. You were like, I wish I was her, basically.
Yeah.
But, I want to ruin this party. I want to be the guy with the video game on the table.
Well, first I'd have to be invited to a party, but
Matt's gonna bring 1-2 Switch at every party.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna try and bust out Zelda to save it, and everyone's gonna be like, "This game sucks, but it's good."
Yeah, they'll be like, "Yo, okay, what's the story in this game? Everything you have breaks. Where are you supposed to go?" I'm like, "Dude, I hear you. I'm gonna call in. I'm like, I hear you." Like, I gotta search for a memory to get some story. Bro, what if I didn't find one? I still haven't found the memory. What am I supposed to do? I don't know anything about it. I could just go beat Ganon and be like, yeah, I beat the game.
Oh yeah, I didn't even look for the first, like there's memories by numbers. I didn't even look for the first one till like last night after like 100+ hours. I thought I was gonna stumble upon it. It wasn't even that far. But that's funny. But yeah, so I think I'm probably gonna buy a Switch earlier than Splatoon is coming out, because I want to have one by the time Splatoon comes out, so that Unoclay and I can play online and be at the same
nice
whatever.
Yeah, I need my
level and whatnot, but
I need my ink bucket backup, like on my left hand, so I can. And then we need like Eli or Mike to pick up a sniper rifle, so we could like make a real squad. Because like I don't know, I gotta.
Is there any role besides sniping? That's like my one weakness in video games. Besides, I can't drive in a video game.
That means Eli, man. You got to be the sniper, bro.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
But
then we can play. We can play with our listeners. You
See, I'm willing to make the sacrifices necessary there,
I'm not
even
good
though
at
it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm not good at sniping either. That's why I'm like, no, I don't want to do it.
But yeah, I kind of want to have one before then, so I can like actually stay outside with the Switch and like play with it. I'll probably only buy like some indie games and maybe ARMS depending on the reviews because I am interested in that. But anyway, moving along. Eli, what have you been playing?
Oh gosh, have I been playing anything? Mario Kart, but I already talked about that last week because I put my review up.
Mhm.
And gosh, I don't think I've played anything other than Mario Kart. Oh, I got a Pro controller.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
those things are nice. They're very nice. Like
Do you
put your
play
hand-
Mario Kart with the Pro controller? Or?
I did play Mario Kart with the Pro controller. You like put your hands in, and it just like so portioned nicely. Like you slide your fingers into the crevices, and you're like, this controller is a nice feeling controller. And you use
Groping and
the
fondling.
analog stick. You take the analog sticks. You twiggle them a little bit back and forth, and you're like,
Oh, God.
Got
this
to tweak
controller is
those
a nice
sticks.
controller.
This is the hottest podcast I've ever listened to. Does it, form factor wise, is it like really identical to the Pro controllers for the Wii U?
No.
Actually, no. It feels better. It's got like a.
Nice.
It feels a little heavier, so it's got a little bit. It feels better, and a little heavier, which actually feels good. And it feels a little deeper in the insides to where you can really fit your fingers in. And I mean, it's definitely on the pricier side. Like $70 for a controller is a lot.
Yeah.
But it makes up for it. Like you won't be going home regretting your purchasing decision.
I mean, I want one for Smash when it comes out because I can't make the jump for GameCube. I've tried. I know, Mike. I know, but like, I can't. And I like the Pro controller on Wii U a lot, so I'm gonna have to have one at some point. But that is a lot of money, especially if I'm supposed to buy them for my guests that are gonna come over and.
Oh no, you don't do that. You just leave every man for themselves. You know they can.
Here's some Joy-Cons, bros. Get to
That's
it.
the reason.
just-
Yeah, give them split the Joy-Cons, one Joy-Con each one out the set.
It's worse
I,
than the Mad Catz days where you would give like your friend a third-party controller. No, here's the Joy-Con. It's half of a controller.
Joy-Cons. Smash it up,
So I
bro.
made it a little less painful for myself because I had some gift cards to Best Buy and I already had a $5 coupon. So like I ended up paying like $6 for it, pretended the fact that I never had those gift cards to begin with. That made me feel a little better. But yeah, it's a pricey controller, and I've never paid that much for a controller in my life. I've always gotten used controllers my entire life. The Pro controller for the Wii U I got for $25 used. So that I'm definitely not used to spending that much money on a controller. I was really happy that it felt so good. I was not expecting that. I just got it just for necessity's sake. I didn't think it would be that good. But I'm happy that the money was worth it.
Well, that's good because I really like the Pro controller on the Wii U, despite the gamepad being a bit wonky. But yeah, to hear it's better
the
than that
gamepad
is
was
like
not good.
awesome.
I didn't like the Wii U Pro controller. I don't know, the nubs were weird. I mean, the way the sticker. I like this Pro controller is great. Like Eli, everything he said was great. It's just I never use it. I think the Joy-Cons are just that good. Like
That's
the
so
only person-
weird. You're,
Like
1 second you're complaining about Zelda, which is like everyone loves, and now you're saying like the Joy-Cons are better than
the Joy-Cons
traditional
are so
controller.
good, dude. Yo, they're amazing. Like I
They have
freaking-
3DS
my-
buttons though. They're so small.
I like it. I like the Joy-Cons. I
Kinda
don't
like
have a Pro
M&Ms.
controller yet, and I've seen some people online like saying how they could almost never go back to the Joy-Cons after they've played the Pro, and I can see that happened to me with Wii U. Kind of like I love the tablet for games where it's implemented correctly, but for the majority of games I was a Pro controller guy, and like but I really like the Joy-Con so far. I've been playing a lot of games with them, including Zelda, and I love the lazy man pose. I love like kicking back with my arms like spread wide open and just like it's such a weird way to play games that I just enjoy it just for that, you know?
Yeah, and no, I agree. I mean, I'm in the opposite boat. I think the gamepad is really comfortable. I mean, I use the gamepad for a bit every game I played that wasn't Smash. So I Donkey Kong, Paper Mario, etc., etc. So the thing is, I don't think the gamepad was good for Mario Kart 8 originally. So that was it. But I thought the gamepad was super comfy and underrated.
Fair enough. See, he brings the balance, people, and the yos. Incidentally, every time he says yo.
All right. So Mike, what have you been up to?
Well, I beat Ukelele. I got that young
nice.
platinum. Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it started off really slow. Really slow, but it picked up. I think by like World 3, I was like, man, like I'm really enjoying this game. Like it kind of hit me over like that old school. Like I don't want to say like nostalgia, but like the game just got better when I got to World 3 because I had like a lot more moves and I was able to actually explore to like a normal platforming like levels and all that. Like at depth, I can't think of the right word for it, but it just felt more natural. You know what I mean? Like the game flowed a lot better. It's a pretty quick game. I'd say like it took me like. I had to play it twice real quick because my trophy glitched out, so I had to run through the game. So I had to which is not, you can beat the game in like 3 hours. Like in reality, if you like, you can get to the game, but you can't actually beat the game. You can get to like one of those like you need a lot more, stars and pages to get to the end. But I think I enjoyed it. I backed it, so that's why I had it. I'm glad what they did. It's not the best game on the planet. Like, you know what I mean? I think all the reviews were on point. Some of them were pretty harsh. It wasn't a terrible game. Like, unless they played 20 minutes of it, then I could be like, yeah, the game's not that great for the first hour. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Then after that, I finally turned on Persona 5, so I can't really give an opinion on it. All I want to say is I want to keep playing. Like, the story's super intriguing, so I just don't want to put it down. But of course, I've been playing that young Mario Kart 8 DX.
Sorry.
Awesome.
One question before you go to Mario Kart. Did you find the voices in Ukelele annoying? Because I know that was a bit of a point of contention for some people.
It's the same as in Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
That's just normally how it is. Like, I guess, I don't know. I'm not triggered like some people like these days. Like everybody's triggered by everything, all right? Like the only thing that probably makes me mad about Ukelele is my boy Jontron ain't in it. But yeah, no, I wasn't annoyed by that. Like, was they gonna play Rare Replay and play Banjo-Tooie and get mad because like that's dumb.
Yeah.
I don't get triggered, says the old geezer who can't, put up with some change in Zelda.
Yeah, I get mad because you want to hear me get mad about that?
He sits there screaming senile at the TV.
You open Pandora's box, Eli.
Okay, you want to hear something? How come a ghost was paragliding? Okay, and then in reality he was a ghost and he was dead, and then he gave me a physical item. Okay, how about that?
Yo.
Okay?
It's an 8 out of 10 already at that moment. You're just like, geez, like the ghost.
I was like, look, I'm all for fake reality crap, but you're telling me that you were dead and you were a ghost, but this paraglider is real? Okay, guys.
And there you have it. One of the critiques nobody seems to have been making. Breaking news.
Yep. All right, so I got that young bad news. I want to say this is the only bad thing I have to say about the Switch and Nintendo so far, because I bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe digital because I think Mario Kart's a game that should be digital. It's one of the very few games I think should be digital. You don't get my Nintendo Platinum points for it, coins. Like you only get them if they're in the card. I went to redeem them and Nintendo's like, nah. That ain't a game card. I was like, are you serious? Like, I spent the same money and the game's still like, so that's actually kind of deterring me from buying Splatoon like digital. So I was upset about that.
I'm pretty sure you do get coins. You just have to go to I don't know, press like menu on the game and then.
Oh no, dude! I
forget because I remember reporting like you get more points if you buy it digitally than with retail, because with retail you got to do something else.
I will take a picture right now and send it to you.
He's saying you don't get platinum coins.
Yeah.
He's maybe you get the other coins, Matt. Is that,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gold coins, I guess you get. I thought gold coins were the better ones.
I don't get any coins. Like,
nothing.
I don't know if you guys get it downloaded. Like, I don't know. I didn't buy it through the eShop. I bought it through an Amazon code, so I could get it like ASAP.
Weird. I don't know.
It's just like when I went to manage systems, I went on the menu and it's like claim Nintendo points, and it's like it only does that for game cards. And I was like, that's a bit unfair. I mean, I'm a physical collector guy anyway, so I'm like, all right, that's not too bad. I really don't care. But like that is kind of annoying. Like what if you never want to buy a game physical, like, and you don't want to leave your house, so you're not going to get.
So Mike, like, just to clarify, you're saying you got no coins?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'll take a photo and send it to you.
It's okay, I believe you, but that does contradict what happened to me, because I've bought games and did what Matt said. You go into that menu thing, and I'm wondering if it has something to do with the fact that you bought it on Amazon.
So I hit start, and I go to My Nintendo Rewards program, and I click A, and it says earn points, parentheses game card version only, and then that's it. Like I can't get anything for getting Mario Kart.
Did you link your Nintendo Network ID to your Nintendo account?
Yeah, I talk on a Nintendo podcast. You think I don't know?
Yeah, well, I don't know, because you should be getting points. I don't know. I guess just call support and be like, "Yo, what's up with this?"
That sounds really suspicious.
Something sounds off. Because even if you got like a digital code from some retailer, you should get the points. I would think, because you still redeem, the code on their store or on Nintendo's store. So I don't know. That's weird.
Well,
yeah,
anyway.
I don't. That kind of upset me because Nintendo's usually pretty good with these kind of things, but then they got rid of Club Nintendo, and I was like, wait, they're probably terrible at this. But no, they're actually usually pretty good. I mean, I guess I'll call and ask, and I'll find out the answer for us. But I mean, that was a bit disappointing. Like, it really deterred me from ever getting a game digital again from Nintendo. That's not. I mean, that's a major game, not like like a $2 indie game or some crap.
Yeah.
Or some free. Other than that, Mario Kart 8, I love it. I 2 items. You know what? I was
Wait, you said you love it. A couple of not too long ago, you said it was the worst Mario Kart. Well, maybe not the worst, but bad.
Yo, like the new tracks are bad. Okay, like I don't like a lot of the new tracks. I like a lot. I like playing. I think the game visually looks great and it plays way better. Like I've been playing it mobile on my Switch. I don't really play it in the dock for that super HDness. But I just. Okay, what I like is now that I have 2 items, so I can actually, coordinate and plan attacks and all that. Like, a few things did come to mind. I hate the game for its, quote, remakes. It didn't remake the tracks, and I think that's what bothers me. Because I'm going to be like, hey, let me go play, I'm just going to think of any random remake. I just call it the Wario Stadium one, right?
Yeah.
From the Double Dash. That is not it is not the same level as I was playing Double Dash last month. Like, this is not the same exact. Like, the remakes in Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart Wii are like perfect. In this game, they're like, oh, we gotta appease that anti-gravity bullshit, and it's like, okay, but this is not a remake. You're just using the same map and you change like 2 or 3 sections, and that kind of bothers me because it's like, what I really like Yoshi's Valley from N64. That's my favorite. I hate Mario Kart 64. I think that's the second worst of them all, but. Like, that's my favorite map. Like, everything about it. And the level is completely different. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fall down and drive in the valley. All the people aren't question marks because you can't change the maps and all that. And I was just like, it's, like, way bigger than it should be. And I'm just like, look, it's cool. Like, I respect it. I respect the effort, but I don't like them dubbing them like, oh, this is a remake. Like, Baby Park is all anti-gravity. Like that. I love that level in 200cc. I think 200cc is a fantastic mode, unless you play a fat character, because then you'll never be able to turn. But I don't know. That's like the only thing that bothers me. Everything else I really like about the game. Like, it's really real fun. Like, boy. So.
I know this will sound unnatural, but I agree with Mike.
My man. My man.
Oh my God, he came prepared.
That's awesome. That's perfect. We need to make a soundboard of Flia. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't agree with Flia or Mike. I like them all, but I haven't played the new one yet. I'm thinking of buying it soon, but I haven't gotten there yet.
But you haven't bought that solid MK8DX?
Nah. I played so much of the original, but I've said it before. I want to. It's just kind of a little bit pricey when I got a lot of other things I'm buying lately, so I'm holding up.
That's fair. Like, I was gonna say,
I want it, but it's a little bit high for another game.
I mean, I like Tanuki Mario. I mean, the DLC maps are all right. I think they're kind of clever.
They're hit and miss.
I'm not like, whoa, this map is awesome, but it's like, you know what? Like, I dropped Mario Kart 8 after like 2 weeks, so I was like, this game's ass. Like, I don't want to play it. Like, I didn't even want to play online. I haven't even touched battle mode, but I know. Like, I was playing with my friends yesterday, like regular racing, but I'm gonna play battle mode sometime. I think I like the game, like, you know what I mean? Like,
told you it.
Sorry, that was me. My bad. Sorry.
No, it's all good, bro. But yeah, that's about it. Other than that, like, I was kind of more of like trying to plan out, like, maybe I'll run through some mobile, like, some handheld games like soon. Like, I wanted to finish up like my Vita library, and like I wanted to kind of like. go to my my 3DS, but since like there's a few more games coming out for it, I was like, you know what, maybe like the 3DS like it will be my fall like kind of console, you know, like I could run through all the big titles now. Because I mean, I don't expect Splatoon to take me forever, and I don't think ARMS is like, hey, I'm gonna play this for the story mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think both games, like, I think this summer has a lot more multiplayer games, and it's like, I think it's the summer to catch up on all your backlist. It's like the fall's got mad. I feel like the 3DS, like I'm just gonna be like, all right, this is its last real hurrah, and I'm gonna be like all in on the fall.
Cool.
All right, cool. So, Unoclay, why don't you finish off what we've been playing?
Yeah, I can do that rather quickly. I did download a cool game this week, and I'd say it's a good get for your if you're into getting like a smaller indie type of title for your Switch for something to play. It's $12, and I find it's worth it. But it's the game I'm talking about, of course, is Graceful Explosion Machine, which I've seen. You know, the abbreviation is GEM online if you see that, but it's a great game if you want kind of a pick up and play, really high action shooter type game. The real addiction about it, I watched the videos in advance and I could tell it was the kind of game I would like, but it was hard to put my finger on why. And what makes it fun is it's got leaderboards that you can sort by friends or worldwide, so you know that's an addiction for some of us where you show off and see how good you can be and outdo your friends. And I already got a couple of friends that are on there, and I'm like going out of my way to like beat the levels and make sure I one up their scores and all that stuff. But it's you know, your little spaceship. You have about 4 weapons so far that I've unlocked, and they're all assigned to a specific button. So you, not to get too detailed, but you have like you have a regular shooter that shoots in front of you. You got a laser sword that swings around your ship to like clear out enemies that are getting too close. You got like a long range laser that's like really high powered, but takes a second or two to charge up to fire to blow up bigger enemies. And then you got like these missiles that like really empty your special abilities all at once. It's kind of like dumping all your special energy all at once, but it's like a missile storm all around you, killing off everything. And it's kind of bullet hell. It's kind of like waves of invaders like attacking you from all sides. Fight your way through these caverns while you're getting bombarded from every direction, and enemies are spawning all around you, and you have to be really on your toes. It's very twitchy, which is, you know, one of my favorite styles of gameplay. I'm really an arcade gamer at heart. So, like, I really like stuff where it's high score attacks and fast gaming. It's a great game. Like I said, it's called Graceful Explosion Machine. I think it's around $12 right now. And what was I going to say about it? I mean, it reminds me a little bit of, like, anyone who's listening from the real old school. It reminds me of Defender, if Defender was a modern game, because you're flying left or right on, like, on a map that circles back on itself. Or right to left. And I'm only in the second world now, but I spent a lot of time like grinding for high scores and like getting on the leaderboards, and beating my friends and stuff like that in the couple of days I've had it. I find it's a really good handheld experience. It's pretty good on the TV too, looks good on the TV, but it's like a real twitchy game. So for some reason I find I play it better in the handheld mode and just like really put it up right close to my face and like geek out hard on it. Recommended if you like shooter bullet hell type stuff, you know. Super fun, well designed. It's not too flashy. It's a straightforward, well made game without a lot of flash or pizzazz to it. It's more like all about the gaming. So cool. Did any of you guys, I don't think Eli or Mike got that game, did you?
No.
I didn't think so. So yeah, it's a cool one to keep on your radar. I know Mike's not super big indie gamer. I know Eli's got stacks and stacks of games and stuff like that. So for the listeners, you know,
I got binders full of games, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think that's a standard problem these days. This is good because I'm almost starting to categorize in my head. Like, there's clearly, I think Switch is going to start to do well. I'm really fingers crossed on the indie smaller game front. We're going to have like the 3DS sized experiences, or the arcade ports, or the arcade type experiences. You see a lot of that stuff coming with the Neo Geo stuff, other things. And then there's the bigger stuff, you know, that maybe comes first party from Nintendo. It looks like, at least this year, is the way things are laying out. This is one of those ones that's like, file it more under your folder for like quick pick up and play, beat a couple levels and move on. Not like a Zelda, you know, long-term experience, or like a bigger AAA title, you know. So it's I like it a lot. So take it for what it's worth.
Cool. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, it's definitely stronger indie titles I've played so far. So
Yeah, so moving on, one quick thing. Apparently Mario Kart 8 is the fastest selling Mario Kart game, even beating out Mario Kart Wii, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't remember at what point the Mario Kart Wii launched. It definitely was. I don't think it was at launch, so I think the Wii probably had a good chunk of units in, but still, it's kind of crazy. Apparently, it has a 45% attach rate with Switch users, so that's it's quite the selling power of this game.
Blown away by that. Like, I could not believe it. I'm really happy for Nintendo. I was really caught off guard by the sales numbers for a re-release of a game we all have seen before.
Yeah, I'm optimistic, but not like freaking out as much as everyone else. Obviously the Switch is off to a record-breaking pace, but that's because they've had a lot of stock at launch and it's all sold out. I think that we need to wait a year before we make any of these sorts of assessments. I have no doubt that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe can sell as much as Mario Kart 8 did. But I mean, it's a fast-selling Mario Kart game. The idea that it's just going to be able to take over the Wii version, which sold 30 million units, I think is a little bit delusional.
Yeah. No, I don't think that, but the fact that it's like selling, it's definitely selling well.
I mean, but there's no other games on the Switch other than Zelda, and that would sell big like that. Zelda came out in March, now it's almost May, and I was actually surprised. So I ended up with 2 versions of the game. Because I got the review code and then my physical version arrived. Mm-hmm. And because I got it on sale for $36, I couldn't return it. It was part of this bundle. Mm-hmm. So I had to sell it. So I posted an ad on Craigslist within a day. So I said I'd sell it for $40, which is $20 off MSRP. Good deal for them. I still get my money back. Within a day, I got like 10 responses of people who wanted to buy the game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you way underpriced it because, I mean, at this point, I do a lot of eBay buying and a lot of eBay selling myself. And like right now, for instance, it's tricky to get a bargain on most games on eBay right now, like for Switch, because physical copies of stuff are in low demand or low supply, relatively speaking, compared to like the number of Switches out there. So like I've been trying to snipe a bid for Binding of Isaac for a couple days on and off. I haven't watched it too hard, but I haven't gotten close to getting a real bargain. Like the closest I got, I could have grabbed it for like $38 or something, which is like $2 lower. Well, maybe $5 after tax, under store value. So I was like, nah, I'm not even going to go for that. I mean, I can try and do better, wait for it to cool down and grab it a little lower, but I'm not even shocked to hear you said you sold it for 40 quickly. That's a good deal. So
to put it back into perspective, the Wii launched November 2006. Mario Kart Wii came out April 2008, and
that's more than 2 years later. That's great.
Yeah, and at that point, I looked up the Wii sales, like the console sales. It had about 24 million units sold at that point, so definitely more than the Switch has now. So it's yeah. I don't see it going further than Mario Kart Wii, of course, because you can't really capture the scenario it was in, but it's definitely kind of crazy that a re-release of a game is doing so well. So good on that, more than I expected.
It's good. It's good to be in a Nintendo podcast when the news is good once in a while, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to be the skeptic and be like, "Whoa, guys, it's not gonna sell as much as the Wii version," but really, that's like.
No, I mean, I think it's reasonably skeptical on that. But the funny thing is, like when you said it, I thought to myself, I agree if you put a gun to my head, but the fact that we're talking about it tells you something too, that you'd even have to say that you're like, yeah, like, holy crap, like that you'd have to say, yeah, it probably won't sell as much as the original, but you never know. Like in the back of my head, I hear saying, it's like over time as the Switch gets into people's hands, Mario Kart's just one of those series with so much staying power that everybody.
And I think it definitely outsell the original Mario Kart 8. I was talking about it probably won't outsell the Wii version, but the original Mario Kart 8 sold 8 million units out of 13 million consoles, 14 million consoles. That's an insane attach rate, and just assuming that the Switch sells more than that, assuming the Switch hits at least 30 million, I think that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will hit more than that.
Mm-hmm. It also helps it's launching like right around the launch of the console, so that like these sales can continue later rather than like launching 3 years in and then a new console comes like 3 years after that or whatever. But
it's also insane. I'm gonna say it's kind of insane how Nintendo has trained its fans to buy games on day one. this doesn't seem like it's been a phenomenon that's been around for a long time. On the Wii version, we just talked about Mario Kart sales for the Wii and it being less, even though the install base was 10 times larger. I think that's really telling of the fact that Nintendo has trained its fans to buy its games at launch. The same thing happened with Zelda, the Switch. Whereas, the Breath of the Wild outsold Skyward Sword, all time within its first month. You see stuff like that and you're like, man, Nintendo's really conditioned all of us to just go out and buy games.
To be fair, they never drop their prices, so it almost never matters when you buy it. It's like, okay, I either buy it now or you might as well buy it day one, basically, because the price is never going to drop, so...
Hey, I'm still holding out for $20 1-2 Switch.
Well, that's probably going to be in a bundle or sale or something, but...
I wanted to say, I don't want to beat this topic to death, but it's sort of a little different take on it, but it's looping in what Eli is saying. Maybe a part of this too, it's really early to say. We won't know for another year or two if this is working. But their whole philosophy for this rollout has been, we're going to space out the big releases. And, it kind of ties in with what you're saying. We're both trained a little bit, but there's also a dearth of games. There's not a ton of games there right now. And there's this okay, well, every 2 months or so, we're going to give you another big, what we would consider one of our AAAs is going to drop. And that gives you enough time between games to get your $60 ready again and get your excitement level up again. So no matter what it is, if it's a re-release or if it's a new IP, or a new game in an existing series, we're going to time it correctly rather than, we're going to endure all the hate for our thin launch and, and we're going to reap the benefits on the back end. So I don't know, that could be a part of this here. The Mario Kart 8 is dropping at the right time. It's been a couple months now. So.
All right, so moving on, something no one really expected happened. Nintendo announced a new 2DS XL. So basically, it's like the new 3DS XL, except it just doesn't have the 3D feature. It does have the clamshell design again. It's not the door hinge or the cheese wedge.
I'm not buying it then. Yeah. Sorry.
No,
I can't use it as a door wedge. It's not worth having at all.
Exactly. Nintendo failing again. Jeez, getting it wrong. But yeah, this is I don't know, this is kind of weird. What are your takes from this?
Mike,
it looks fresh as hell.
Yeah.
Right?
What we say, Mike?
Yo, that shit looks fresh and it's cheap. I would get one.
Huh. This
that black design with the light blue going around it. I have a 3D. Okay, I have a 3DS XL. I have an original 3DS that has a streaming component in it, and then I have a new 3DS. I don't have a new 3DS, but if I had time to waste or burn money or whatever, I'd definitely pick it up. There hasn't been a game in 3D in a long time anyway. Yeah. I mean, I always play with 3D. I know a lot of you guys are that's dumb. I just keep the slider down. I don't know anyone who played games in 3D, to be honest. Besides myself, people were always looking at me like I'm crazy. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's a great buy. I mean, it looks good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why, before I was a member of this podcast, I was a listener, and I always thought Mike was funny because you just never know what he's going to say. Zelda sucks. 2D 3DS. I'm buying it. Matt, what do you think? You haven't talked as much as the rest of us this podcast. What are your thoughts on the 2DS?
I thought it was kind of funny because when I was looking at repairs for my 3DS, I'm like, okay, well, worst case scenario, I would have to buy a new one. Let's see what the prices are for new ones. And then I realized, oh, there isn't a 2DS XL. That's kind of weird. I figured they would, bookend all those different, model types because they have all the other models and whatnot. Right. But then a couple of days later, they announced this. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that answered that question.
It was in the air. It was in the air.
But it's weird because I always had I always had the thought that the 2DS wasn't selling well. Maybe that was at the beginning and maybe it got better. I mean, obviously it must have been doing well enough if they've introduced this new model. But
no, I think they're just looking for a cheaper way to sell a 3DS, and that just happens to be a 2DS XL.
Yeah, it could be.
I guess.
Yeah, it could be. I've never heard of anyone buying it. I've never seen one in real life. But
I have. I've seen them out in the wild.
Have you? Oh.
I spotted them. and I gave him shit for it as I should, as I needed to.
So is it just a way for them to introduce a model that people would play because no one wants the smaller one, they want the XL
Yeah, I mean they
size?
don't want to. Okay, yeah, it's a way to drop the price from 200 to 150 because it's 200 right now. Drop from 200 to 150 without, while saving a few bucks. They might save $10 a unit, but that's $10 they saved. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I love the clamshell design, and I was surprised. I hadn't looked at it until just before the podcast to like review the news, and I was like, wait, it's the clamshell, like, because that would be the reason I would have never bought the, like, I don't even know, like the, what do you call it, the tablet version of it, like, or I don't even know what to call it. Like, I'm like, it's just gonna get broken, like. No way, it's going to get banged against something the first day I have it. It's going to get busted. The clamshell's it. Personally, I like the 3D, and I would be more likely to just buy a used 3DS XL if mine broke. That at this point, I like the XL for sure, but I don't want to like go back to my old games. I buy mostly physical media for anything of significance, and I don't want to go back to like Kid Icarus or Luigi's Mansion or something else someday, to play it again and then have to like look at it all flat when I know part of the game experience was meant to be 3D. So that's just me. I get it why people might not like it. So
I like the design of it. It looks good. It's weird that the speakers aren't on the top screen. They're actually on the bottom. I found out after. That's why the top screen looks like flat, like an iPhone phone.
Okay.
Really weird.
Okay.
I didn't notice that till after. But speaking of 3DS, apparently Reggie's confirming that there's going to be 3DS game support in 2018. We've kind of gone over this a bit. I guess this is more official. I thought he said this before, but I think that was in 2016 when they showed off the Galaxy 3DS. I think they were talking about support for 2017, so maybe that's why he's saying this again. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really expect much to come out of the 3DS for next year, but
that.
Hmm?
I was gonna say was the other thing is too. I think the 2DS announcement. When is it supposed to come out? July or August? I forgot.
I don't recall. I have an article here.
'Cause I was gonna say, do you remember last November when they re-released like some new like they re-put out the new 3DS XL and like it sold out everywhere, like all of those like the 2 or like 3 limited edition ones they came out with. Like there's still a market for it. So I think the 2DS like XL, like I wouldn't be surprised if it sold really well this like holiday, but at the same time, I don't see it doing as well competing with the Switch the same, like, but they're not competing directly with each other. I just don't see like some parents getting like, oh, it's 2 different consoles, but like the DS market's like still out there, you know what I mean? So I don't think the 3DS XL is like at a bad time.
Yeah, we just saw that over Christmas because literally I had a friend who couldn't find one for his kid for the 3DS at Christmas time, and he had to buy it off eBay for an inflated price because he was like, I can't get this stupid mini Nintendo for my kid. So he asked me what he should do, and I was like, buy the 3DS. It's a better choice, like in the long run, especially for your kid. And yeah, he agreed after he had it. He's like, his kid has discovered Pokemon at age 9 and is like head exploding is the description I got. His head is exploding every day over this game. So yeah, I think there's a market too for it. I think it's still around. The Switch is a premium device, and like the 3DS, 2DS family can be maybe maybe they're looking at it that way, like the less premium for the kids or for the on-the-go casual player or something like that.
Oh, and the 2DS XL comes out July 28th. I looked it up for you.
Directly competing with Splatoon. What are they thinking?
Can't even. Apparently, there's not going to be a large-scale E3 event for Nintendo, or at least on the stage floor or something. I forget. Not really big news. I don't know. It felt like mentioning, I guess. Something that is more interesting is ARMS showed off a new character, and it was one of the characters that they sort of, well, they didn't really leak, but they unintentionally leaked. They had some little characters at the bottom of a screen, and this was one of the 4 that they showed off. He's called Helix. He's this gelatin blob. He's basically Flubber, but with boxing gloves on it. I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of funny. Anyone else watch this
I
trailer?
agree. I looked at it. It looks cool. Like I want Arms to have a little more personality than I've seen so far for me to be into it, because Smash's like attraction as Nintendo's like biggest, Smash, Mario Kart, Zelda, kind of the holy trilogy Mario games, like these days. Like they have really deep character rosters with a lot of personality. I mean, Mario Kart, sure, really it's just weight classes, but you got a lot of different like characters, a lot of different animations and like behaviors that keep you coming back. Smash has like just the depth, and love with tons of characters. That's what I think Arms needs. It's like I don't really have any connection to any of the characters they showed off so far. I barely could tell them apart if you put them in a lineup for me. There's girls and there's guys. That's all I really know. It's like, okay, cool. So I'd be almost more in favor of them doing more weird characters and less humanoid characters. Like bring aliens into this, bring robots into this. I don't know. So I was psyched to see that. I was like, this might have been a tech demo that you turned into a character is what I wonder about when you make an amorphous blob. I'm like, was this just like something from the test code that you were like, oh yeah, it's a character. Yeah. Look, we'll give it a hat, and now it's character, but still I'm into it.
Yeah, hopefully they do have like an actual story mode, and then that'll kind of flesh out the characters' personalities, because you're not really gonna get attached to these characters just through gameplay. Well, I guess that's not entirely true, because Overwatch shows off a lot of personality of the characters, but I think a story mode would help further that. But moving on, so Shak Fu, the sequel or whatever, was announced like a year or two ago, and it basically went silent forever. I think someone mentioned it on Twitter, and then I decided to look it up again, and there's basically nothing on the game. So I figured it must have been canceled, even though Shak actually like presented it himself. So it would be kind of weird if he's in some sort of scandal and they just kind of like took people's Indiegogo money and just like didn't do anything with it. But apparently the developer just said recently it's coming to Switch, which is weird. They didn't show off any new trailers or anything. It's just weird that no updates on the game for like a year and a half decided to say something, and they still have nothing to show for it. I don't know. It's really weird.
Mike, you're like the one I can go to most to ask if you played an old game. Have you ever played Shaq Fu?
Jack Fu? What?
Shaq Fu, the basketball.
Oh, Shaq Fu. No. I actually always I know a lot about it, but I've only really played like NBA Jam and a few arcades and stuff. But never played Shaq.
Yeah, it's like a fighting game. But neither of you guys played that, right? Because it's on Super Nintendo, and I've never played it yet. But it's famously one of the worst games ever. Like that's why this sequel's funny. I mean, the crazy thing is actually, there's a really good magazine. This is a sidebar, but like anyone listening to this that cares about retro stuff, in the last year, I found this magazine called Retro Gamer. That is just a really good magazine. It's expensive. It's like $13 an issue, but it's a really quality magazine. You can usually get it like a big bookstore. It's called Retro Gamer again. And they had an article on the company that made Shaq Fu the original. And they're a really good company. They're called Delphine. And they made some really famous games that I really liked back when I was a kid, called Another World. And there was another game called Flashback that were famous, classic kind of like adventure games. Really, really good games. They had a lot of other things, but those are the things Americans would know them best for the Flashback. And then, like I said, Another World. But Shaq Fu, they talked about in this article. This is an article a few months ago, and that's their big fail as a company, when they were relatively a great company, and they said they were really rushed and it was a licensing type deal, and they didn't have any like time to develop it, and they'd never made a fighter before. They were like, we kind of got this contract, and then it was like, and the game is it's one of those games everyone razzes on all the time, just like one of the worst ever. And so I'm excited for the sequel, and I'm super excited if it comes to Switch, because I really would like to check it out if it turns out funny, because I think they're intentionally making a sequel to like regain the legacy of Shaq, since the first one was so awful. So yeah, good news there. And from my world, I was like, yes, this is going to be funny.
Cool. Two more things. Apparently Koei Tecmo is going to bring more exclusives to the Switch, and Capcom also kind of said they're committing to the Switch. So good on that front. Maybe it'll actually turn into what I thought the Wii U would be and have a bunch of Japanese games.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
Not yeah. You thought I was gonna make like a bad turn.
I thought you were just going to say third-party games in general, and I
No,
was just like
that's-
readying my laughter.
No, that's dead. But at least if it can have some like interesting Japanese games, that'll be good enough. At least to set itself apart. It's not gonna get like Final Fantasy or anything. I don't think. I would hope.
I really hope that they bring Resident Evil, at least maybe some ports of some other Resident Evil games over. Like, I don't need to play 1 through 3 or 1 through 4 again myself. Actually, I've never played 3. I shouldn't lie. Played the in between ones, but if they would bring over like a legacy collection of Resident Evil, or even 5 and 6, which I know weren't people's favorites. I'm doubting 7 would get the nod, even though that would be the best, because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan for the ones I've played, and I know the series have changed a lot, but I just seeing Capcom's name, I'm like, Mega Man, please, like Resident Evil, please, like just do it, come on, like this would be it would be such a smash success if they brought back Mega Man, with or without the primary director, if they did Mega Man 11 or Mega Man Legacy Collection or anything on Switch, it would sell, guaranteed. I just wish it would happen.
Yeah. Well, there's a rumor that Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, I think, is coming to the Switch. I forget. I saw some rumor about the game existing. I forget what platforms it was listed for. But
I don't think it had any, but it's 7 through 10. So in reality, if it's 7 through 10, it's probably going to be PS4, PC, Xbox.
Probably. We'll see. That'd be weird if it didn't come, but who knows. And then the final thing is, Mike, you were bringing up Mario and Luigi before. I don't know if you're aware of this, but apparently Data Miner found there's a game on the eShop called Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and Bowser's Minions. And it even has its own, like, 3DS eShop icon thing, like the game icon when you go on your 3DS. So it's basically all but confirmed, just like Twilight Princess HD, the people found that on the eShop servers, and they had the logo for that as well. So I'm pretty sure it's basically real, but it basically hints at like a remake, or at least a re-release of extras of the original one, Superstar Saga, with some other stuff in it for the 3DS. Since you played it 3 times, would you play it a 4th time?
Yeah, aren't they going to? I thought they were going to like remake it with like the Dream Team engine or something. I mean,
yeah, I figured that would happen, but
I mean, they're calling it Deluxe. I mean, it's not like remember, this came out on the Game Boy Advance like in 04, 05. There's no quote DLC, as Clay's a big guy about that. He's it's a retro thing, DLC. No, but yeah, no. Freaking back when I used to get games, Clay, they used to come full, so just letting you know. But
I have no idea what you're talking about. This is like Greek to me right now.
Yeah. So, but no, with Superstar Saga, honestly, I think I wrote, actually, like when it was hard to be on the front page of IGN, I wrote something about it. And I was like, I called Mario the king of RPG. And I think Superstar Saga was like one of the big advocates why I was saying that. And I think it's one of the greatest games like I've ever played, like overall. Like Superstar Saga is that good. Like it has like it's such a great mix of like story, gameplay, like a lot to do that's not the main quest. Like it's funny. Like Caclet is like a really good villain. Like it feels like 2 games in one also. Like not the way it linked, like the way the story is, like you're like, yo, you play 15 hours at the beginning, and you're like, then everything is like, oh, okay, this happened, and you're like, holy shit, I'm playing another game again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how long and good the game is. Like, I can never not recommend Superstar Saga. I actually have it on my Wii U eShop, because like when Club Nintendo is ending, I got like a bajillion points, so I was like, let me grab 1,000,005 games while I got some time, and I picked it up. And it was funny because I was playing Super Mario Brothers 2 because I was like, you know what, I don't want to shut down my Wii U yet, and I was gonna play Earthbound Zero, Mother 1, and I saw I had my Superstar Saga there, and I was like, I'm glad I like bought this game, but at the same time, I was like, man, I was kind of hoping they would ever remake it one day, and it's kind of cool that it's gonna come. Too bad it's for the 3DS. Like I was like, it'd be cool for Switch, but
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for Switch. I also am not like crazy about the Dream Team visuals. I kind of like the vector art, I guess, of the original. Just like the very crisp, colorful design, whereas Dream Team is kind of blends in with each other. It's just a different style, but
Matt, you're an art slash guy. Did you used to watch Mario Brothers Z? I mean,
oh yeah.
Yeah, and they use the Superstar Saga sprites. I think those sprites are amazing. I love them.
They're great.
I think the art style and sprites of Superstar Saga is so good as well. You know, like it does. Like, look, I like Dream Team. Like, I thought it was nice, and I mean, I liked Paper Jam as well. But yeah, I'd have to agree with you more. I think Superstar Saga has just the art form is better. But like people these days don't want to play like a 2D comic looking thing. You know, it's just that.
I was kind of hoping it would be like a Switch game and it would look kind of more hand-drawn-y. Like, I obviously, I don't think they would actually hand-draw it themselves, but something similar to that style just to make, if it's supposed to be a remake, like, just make it look that much further different. Because if you're remaking a 2D game, it's like, how much further can you go? Especially when it's not like Pokemon where, you know, it was really janky pixel art. It's like... It was the Superstar Saga has like good art for 2D games. It's like, well, how much further are you really gonna take that? Like, that's why I would like a hand drawn kind of thing, because it's like it's different enough to make it feel more like I don't know if it's a remake, but whatever. Different enough visually to make it look like you took a bigger jump.
So, I was just gonna say when you're worried about not coming to the Switch. There's something to remember here. There's no reason it might not eventually. I mean, they could release this for the 3DS now, and then in a year when the sales cool, then be like, oh yeah, you know, like $10 on the eShop for Switch, you know, like the same game, just port. I mean, they might be developing exclusively for the 3DS, of course, but they'd almost be silly at this point, given the way they said they're going to restructure their development teams and everything internally, to kind of co-develop the handheld and console stuff, since obviously now the Switch is reality. Why wouldn't they be, if they're going to retool it in a way they could eventually send it elsewhere? So
I'll pose that with another thing, because they said they're going to try to support the 3DS like longer. So this would be, I wouldn't say it's a great way, but it would be one way to kind of add more games without really making more games, because like, okay, well, you already have like, this game is done in another sense. You basically have to transfer it over into a different style. Obviously it's not as, you know, easy as I'm making it out to be, but the game is already made. You're just making it a different way. You're not starting from scratch.
But Matt, it is different though. Aren't they starting from scratch? Like, this is more of a remake versus a remaster. Like, remember, like, Resident Evil gets remastered all the time, and it's like, look, there's better lighting, and this guy's face is in.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's not like the next entry in the series.
They don't have a new storyboard and
they don't have to do that. It's like, okay, we know what everything's happening. We just gotta replace the art assets and make it run on a 3DS sort of thing. So I think that's why they're kind of doing it, because it's like, we can sort of, quote unquote, make a new game, but in reality, like, have a lot less people working on it and just kind of churn it out, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
Nintendo's finally caught on to it. I mean, if nothing else, they got the memo with this new Mario Kart, because they're like, holy crap, everyone buys the same game again? Like, let's do it. Like, so that's definitely what you're saying, Matt. Like, this is like a way for them to support with a minimal development cycle and mix it up. And they're not doing tons of remasters as far as we know right now. It's only, here and there. So it's a good way to like support the console that's on its way out a little bit. So I agree.
Yep. Eli, did you play Superstar Saga before?
I've not, so I can't really talk on it.
How dare you? You're gonna have to do that after the podcast.
But okay, I gotta head out though. So if I can just,
I was just about to close it out. So that's all we. That's
it. Eli's got to go.
So that's it for this week. You can find me at the Manga Viking on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And Eli, where can people find you?
Okay, I have a little story before I close out. Funny
Oh,
and
Mister,
interesting.
I gotta
Remember?
rush out of the door, but before
I know,
we
I know.
get...
It's a quick story though.
Sure.
If you guys remember on my IGN, there was a user named gosh, I think it was Habitat Storm or something. He had a cat as his icon.
Okay.
You guys remember this?
I remember the name. I don't remember
Okay.
him as the guy. Go on.
So this was a guy in my IGN. Turns out, by totally random chance, he's my little in my fraternity. So
What?
isn't that just really weird?
Which
like-
user was it?
That what?
What user was it?
It was like Habitat Storm or something like that. Habit Storm.
Habitable
Habitable.
Storm? I
Yeah.
remember.
Habitable Storm. That's what it was. Yeah.
What? Small
Isn't that
world.
crazy?
That
So
is
he was
insane.
yeah. So we're just sitting there, and he was already assigned my little, and I'm just like thinking of his name because his name is Andrew Rocket, and I'm like, it's going in my head. I'm like, that sounds really familiar, and I'm like, hey, like your name sounds familiar, blah blah blah. So we got talking. Turns out he was my IGN user, and I'm like, whoa! So he came over. We're playing Mario Kart last week together. Bonding event. I was just, but that isn't that the weirdest of coincidences? And my fraternity is not like a brig fraternity. It's like a pre-law fraternity.
Yeah.
Michigan State University, like, out in the corner, there's 40 of us, Isn't that the weirdest thing?
That's crazy.
Small world, man. Small
I
world.
can't remember if him and I used to argue back and forth or if we were buddies. I can't quite remember. I'm trying to Google his username right now and find him. I can't quite get it spelled right, but tell him, just curious, hit him up and ask him if he remembers Unoclay at all, because I feel like I might have interacted with him a bunch, and I'm just trying to remember in what context. That's crazy. Small world. Wow.
Yeah. So I was just, and I've been meaning to say that in the podcast for like the last 3 months that I've known him,
Oh my
and I just keep forgetting. And finally today, I'm like, all right, gotta bring him up. So anyway, you can find me on Twitter at Paul Salad, on YouTube, Nintendo Network 64. In my rating on Nintendo Enthusiast.gg, I just put up my Mario Kart review, gave it a 9 out of 10. And hi, Andrew.
Nice. And Mike, where can people find you when you're not on the podcast, which is most of the time?
All right, guys. You can find me on my Twitch, Troy Fullbuster. I got affiliated recently, so send those bits. Put your biddies. Or you can find me on YouTube at Gaming Night Live /SMBGaming64. Yeah, drop by in the stream though. I'll probably forget to read it, but don't worry about it. You can watch me pawn and own nubs, bro. Also find me on Twitter, the same thing.
All right. And Unoclay, what about yourself?
And you can find me in my IGN, and soon enough, I don't know when, because it will take a lot of work, we will have our own website, justanothercaster.com. So please be sure to check that out, because it will be really awesome.
Way to go. You chose the one thing that promotes something that's never going to happen.
That's all we got, folks. Yada, yada, yada,
Oh,
yada, yada.
Oh,
That's
man.
it. That's
So,
it for me.
wherever you're listening, you can find us not at justanothercastle.com, but you can find us on every other platform on the internet. So we'll see you next time and leave gaming to Nintendo.